What is going on, Zach RC here, welcome back to the channel, welcome along to episode number 23 of the F1 22 Road to GOAT Driver Career Mode series for season 2, episode number 7. It's the Spanish Grand Prix here from the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, and the rain is torrential here in Spain today. If you did miss the last episode, make sure to go check it out. There will be a link in the top right corner of your screen now, and check out the playlist if you're new to get caught up on this series so far. Right, so, of course, it has been a little while since I made one of these, so apologies for that. We'll try and push through to the end of the season as best we can over the next couple of weeks, and looking forward to what should be a very entertaining race today, if not a potential point scoring. We're starting from P10, so starting from within the points, looking to try and close on those cars in front of us. Of course, Carlos Sainz leads the Drivers' Championship. Ferrari Alfa Romeo doing very well. Their partnership continuing to grow, continuing to become more and more fruitful by the race. So look forward to seeing what they can do in the Grand Prix today. In terms of ourselves, though, we've still got points to score and a race to run. In terms of tyres, then, it's a pretty simple choice today. Full wets on both stints, regardless of whether it gets dry or not. Hopefully, it'll drop a bit, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Of course, we'll lower the fuel as always, get us a bit lower fuel, a bit faster towards the end of the race. So, like on the grid here, of course, points will be the main target, but we just try and make it to the end of the race, to be honest. Never really driven a race like this in a few races. Of course, the wettest we've had so far this season being Silverstone a couple of rounds ago, and that was quite exciting. We got on the podium that time, so hopefully this time more of the same, but it's unlikely from where we're starting. Let's see how it goes. So on now to 5 red lights for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix, round number 7 of season 2 of the F1 22 Road to GOAT Driver Career Mode series, and it's underway. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. It's not the best of getaways compared to Magnussen down on our left-hand side. He's going to charge through on the run towards Tom. We're going to defend from Ocon, our teammate, there on the inside as Vettel goes passing by on the outside. Sonoda might try and take us as well to come towards this first corner, go late on the brakes, try and get Vettel and Magnussen back into turn 1, and indeed we do. Magnussen still alongside us. They try and get clear of the Dane and try and make a move on, and then the outside of Pierre Gasly here going through turn 2. We've managed to take him as well. It's up to P9 here, so we lost 2 places in the start. We turn it into gaining 1 overall. And there goes Verstappen, almost losing the car there through turn number 3. That long sweeping right-hander. We're going to try and grind his outside if we can, around the outside of the Dutchman. We're going to take him as well, just about on the high side, going through turn number 4. And on the exit, clear him completely. We're going to try and take Hamilton now if we can, but I think we're just a bit too close to him in terms of having enough time left in the braking zone. Not an opportunity to try and pass him. Try and go on the exit though, if we can. Not enough for run though, even with the ERS use, so we stay behind him. But P8 there, not too bad a start at all. Hamilton losing the car a little bit in front of us. That's going to throw us up horribly there as Perez pulls away in the distance. He's running in P6 right now. We've got his teammate Verstappen. He's running behind us to come through turn 9. That blind right hander Verstappen goes charge through a bit too wide there for that last corner, and there's a yellow flag behind us, and it looks like that might be our teammate Ocon, because there's no sign of him further back, and that is our teammate Esteban Ocon, who spun out. It has not been the start of the season for him. He's won so far. We've outperformed him in the first 6 races, and this will only add to his misery here. Ocon, who went side by side with, I think that was, looks like one of the AlphaTauris going through turn 9, got clear of them, and on the exit just went too wide, lost it, and pulled off into the gravel, so didn't actually spin it in the end, but actually still out of off the racing surface. We're back on the track and now in dead last, with a lot of work to do if he wants to try and score points in this Grand Prix. On to number 6 now. It's quite a routine start to the race. Aside from that, we're just chasing Verstappen and Magnussen there behind us now. Hamilton managed to get back through again. We push further on now, getting very close to hitting the back of Verstappen's car, and Zhou Guanyu out of the session. The Williams driver putting in as our first casualty of the race, and the safety car has been deployed. It's been a while since there's a safety car in this series, but it is back on the track now, and that's one car already out of the race. That is the Williams of Zhou Guanyu. Not entirely sure what's happened to him there. Not sure if that's an internal or external failure, but regardless, that safety car deployed. The 2 Ferraris leading the way. Sainz, your championship leader, running in P2. He's got his reigning champion teammate Leclerc showing the way. Norris is behind him in 3rd, and look at our teammate Alexander Albon there running in 5th place. As Verstappen runs 8th, 1 spot in front of us, but peep Albon there in the top 5 doing a fantastic job. As for his teammate here, not entirely sure what's happened to Zhou Guanyu here, but a very unfortunate early retirement for him in this race, after a Williams team's been doing so well so far this season. He just slows the car, no sign of any smoke whatsoever, and he's really in the way for a lot of these guys behind. There's our teammate Ocon going back through. So Zhou then out of the race, unfortunately. Looks like an internal failure, because there's no real problem that we can see there in terms of smoking like we normally see. But anyway, pushing on a few more laps, the safety car coming into the pit lane. Leclerc and Sainz will lead us to the restart, of Norris there in 3rd. We'll start 9th for this one, and down to just 19 cars in the running order. Ocon, our teammate, the last of those running cars. So we'll see if we can try and gain any places on this restart. It could be difficult thanks to that final chicane. So let's try and just get around Verstappen if we can. We can get a good run off this last corner, so we might have a good shot at him. See, we're really practically pushing him through turn number 12 there. I think that's turn 12. I might be getting my corner numbers wrong. But regardless, safety car on its way in from the lead to the pit lane, and Leclerc will re-inherit the top spot in the racing line in the order, and we'll move back towards green flag conditions. This rain is not letting up, so make this restart very difficult. We're in Verstappen's dirty to come charging on the last corner. He's got a way better exit than we do. And Magnussen is not a step behind us either. He's about a second back. As I say that, the gap goes down to 3/10. He's trying to chase us there down this main straight, but I don't think he'll get enough to run. He got an equally poor exit of that last corner compared to us and Verstappen. So through turn 1, we hold station here in P9 on lap number 9 of the Spanish Grand Prix. So a long way to go. We can try and get some more places if possible. We'll actually just keep on chasing and just see what we can do here. Verstappen will be our first target in the Red Bull. Looks like he might try and take Hamilton here on the run towards turn 4. He's looking to his inside and might try and go inside. Yes, he will, but there's a bit of contact between the two. I saw the rear end of Hamilton's car snap out a little bit, so Verstappen might have tapped him ever so slightly, but both cars managed to keep it on the track. Look to the inside of Verstappen if we can, going onto the rumble strips there, over the curbs and banging tyres. They're not the kind of pass we're going to make. Normally don't like to be making those kind of aggressive passes like that. We've managed to take him onto P8 now, so a place is a place at the end of the day. And it looks like it doesn't look like we've done too much damage to our car. On to number 16 here, pushing on away into the Grand Prix. Hamilton did go away for a little bit. We've managed to catch back up because, again, our former teammate Alexander Albon, still in that Williams, doing us a massive solid right now and keeping the 7-time world champion in his mirrors as it stands. So while everyone else gets away in front, the two Ferraris continue to lead with Norris in 3rd, Russell 4th, and Perez now 5th. Albon's running in 6th, and he's holding off Lewis for us, doing a fantastic job. Might try and take our fellow Brit here, going towards this next left-hander at turn number 5, and there we go underneath him and tapping the back end of Albon's car. No damage done to our front wing, fortunately. We're very lucky still being in contention there, because we could have slid a lot more than we actually did. We're taking P8, another somewhat aggressive overtake there. Of course, not the kind of overtakes I like to make, but in these wet conditions, you've got to do what you've got to do at this point in the race. So we could have had a fantastic battle with Albon, but unfortunately he pulled into the pits at the end of the lap. So we're coming to that point of the race now. We're going to start making those only pit stops we'll be seeing in this Grand Prix. As we come across the line here onto lap number 17, our pit window opens. So again, another set of full wet tyres will be going on the car at the end of this lap. Running in P5 now, the top 4 yet to come into pit lane. Of course, we saw one of the Ferraris come in. I believe that was Carlos Sainz who was in. But regardless, we come into pit lane now, making our first stop and what should be only stop of this Grand Prix, short of the weather drying up and us getting onto some dry tyres, which I feel is unlikely. Turning optimal as usual, making our way in, but in terms of traffic, we may lose out a little bit here. Fresh wet tyres go on the car. With 2 cars going into their pit stalls. That's Vettel and Tsunoda have both gone in, so we're going to come out a bit later than expected, and Magnussen might come out in front of us as well, and he has. So Magnussen gains a place on us in the pit lane after chasing us throughout the entire race so far. Verstappen goes through, Hamilton going through now as well, so we've lost several places here. We're back down to P10, back where we started, and now we've got some work to do on us to try and get those places back towards the second half of this race. We'll do what we can here. Magnussen and Hamilton almost went side by side through turn 1 as Magnussen left the pit lane, but both cars get through unscathed. We're going to try and chase Magnussen here. On to lap number 20 now. We're pushing the Haas through turn number 4. That long sweeping right-hander. We're going to try and take him into 5. We're going to switch back to the inside here and try to go late on the brakes if we can. This time we keep it on the track. And so far, all of our main overtakes have come around this second sector, up in front of Magnussen, up into P9. So another point for us on the board, add to what we would have had being in 10th place. And now Hamilton, our next target. On to lap number 26 now. And Verstappen, Hamilton and Albon there in a little train. So again, Albon doing us a massive, massive favour here throughout this Grand Prix and keeping these arguably much faster cars behind us. Because while our Alpine is good, it's not as quick as these guys up in front, the Mercedes and the Red Bull in particular. And those Ferraris, I say, can continue to pull away at the front. So keep an eye on them as we get towards the last couple laps of this race. I dare say Leclerc's got this one in the bag. In terms of chasing Hamilton, on to lap number 27. We're going to try and make a move on him if we can. Just try and get as close as we can. We'll look to the inside and the exit. If he loses enough of a gap, he's open the door and follow his line just enough for us to try and squeak through on the outside now. Looking upstairs, going into turn number 5. A bit more wheel banging there. Once again, Hamilton loses momentum on the exit. We pull clear of our fellow Brits up into P8 here. And can we try and get these guys towards the last couple of laps of this Grand Prix? There's not much longer left to go in this thing. It's pushing to number 32 now. We are chasing Verstappen again through turn 4 like we did against Lewis. We don't get enough of an exit going through turn 4. Perhaps into 5 we can try something. Go look around the outside if we can. So we're very, very tense. If we can get enough run, Verstappen gives us a bit of room to try and sneak in, using what's left of our batteries to try and pull ahead, but no chance. Didn't even get our nose in there going into the next left-hander. I dare say Verstappen might have us there. We go for one more risky move up the inside. Went over the curbs. That would have definitely been a legal overtake if we managed to pull that off. So it looks like we won't be getting either one of those two places today. Albon will finish in front of us. Verstappen will finish in front of us. And here come the two Ferraris, practically leading each other home in formation here in front of the Spanish crowd. Sainz won this race last season, and this time it's the reigning world champion Charles Leclerc who will run to the line and take victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. And Sainz will come home in second, another home podium for him. So brilliant race for those guys all around, and Norris will come home in 3rd place in the end. It's come to the last couple of corners now of the race. We came close, we almost made it all back after the pit stop fiasco. Verstappen just about stayed ahead. Albon will take P6, a brilliant result for Williams. They come to line here to claim P8, and what was it, quite a fantastic race. We managed to survive the weather and take home a couple of points.
They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
It's an heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place today.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
I'll tell you what, it's going to take something very special for Mercedes, Red Bull and McLaren to try and stop Ferrari this season. A 1-2 for them. Leclerc takes the win. Sainz home in second to delight the Spanish fans. I'm sure they would have loved to see him take the victory. And Norris comes home in third to keep himself in the championship. He's doing a fantastic job. He's having a hell of a season right now. But in terms of our race, brilliant points for us. A few more on the board. Always helpful in trying to chase down those guys in front. So we'll keep on trying to get more points in the championship.
Carlos Sainz extends his lead at the top, getting ever closer to securing the championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So before we wrap things up here at the Spanish Grand Prix, let's go through the top 10. Leclerc takes the victory then, Sainz in second, and Norris home in third. Russell beats Perez for fourth. Fantastic race between those two. Didn't see much of it because we were a bit too far behind them. Albon takes sixth, 8 points for Williams. Fantastic job from him. Verstappen home in seventh. We come home just behind him in eighth. Hamilton ninth, had a poor race today, and Magnussen takes away the final points paying position and the fastest lap going to Carlos Sainz, so 6 points. A loss for him in the championship. He still leads it by 13 points. Leclerc in second over Norris, and we're still sticking pretty there in 7th place. 11 points off Verstappen, and crucially 17 in front of Lewis. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, we're still running in 5th place. Williams gained a place over Audi Sport on 2 points behind Haas. We're currently running at the bottom of that top half fight for the championship. Ferrari leading it then by 54 points over Red Bull. Mercedes in third, 84 back. And McLaren running in fourth, just over 100 points behind. So there's our rivalry with Perez to end things off. Of course, that rivalry's more or less done and dusted. Perez has it in the bag at this point. So yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more regular Formula 1 22 content as the season draws to a close here. I've been Zach RC. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.